It's the Bryant Corbett Show.
Now, anyone knows me knows that I'm a big Michael Jackson and Prince fan. I love that. But did you know that Prince and Michael Jackson did a show together with James Brown? Oh, you did know? Okay. Well, you know I got the video to prove it. Check it out.
Michael Jackson, come on up, man. Come up and say something. Gotta come up and say something.
Now, I've seen this video 100 times. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't think that much about it. But according to reports, Prince did not like that video at all. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that he felt that he kind of made mistakes and he was kind of shown up a little bit by Michael Jackson. one of Prince's people that actually talked about it, what was going through Prince's mind. He watched the video several years even after that, because this was like early on in his career. Very interesting.
Sly established a template for selecting musicians based on their musicality, not on their gender or not on their race. Just get the best musicians.
He's a groundbreaker.
Yeah, he was a groundbreaker. I'm sure you've probably seen the bootleg video from 1982 that shows the James Brown concert where Michael Jackson and Prince
James
got
Brown
on stage.
Where Prince doesn't sing a note.
Yeah, that was a bad night.
He was upset that night. Has anyone ever seen it? Okay. It's not the way it was supposed to go down.
No, and that was one night when Prince really messed up, and here's something you might not know, so I'll fill in a few little bits. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a very grainy video from 1982, but it's a James Brown concert. Michael Jackson is in the house, so Michael gets on stage
You're at
with
the
James
Beverly
Brown.
Theater. James Brown finds out that Michael Jackson's on stage, is in the audience. He comes on, sings a few lines to It's a Man's World. Then James Brown signals the band into There Was a Time. Michael Jackson does the moonwalk, a few steps, and then whispers in James Brown's ear, Prince is here and you got to bring him to the stage.
Now, Prince told me this himself when I asked, really naively, how come you and Michael Jackson aren't better friends, Prince? And I remember he turned around his chair and he looked at me and he said, don't be naive. That guy is a racehorse. He is really competitive. I was actually pushing Prince because Michael had asked him to duet with him on the song Bad. And Prince said no.
Wasn't comfortable with the opening line where he says, your butt is mine.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on, Prince, you guys should be friends. How naive was I? And Prince said, what are you kidding? Anyway, Michael was really shrewd. Now remember, Michael was huge at this point in 1982 compared to Prince. But Prince was his rival, and Michael knew it. And Michael, with his shrewd tactician's mind, saw an opportunity to embarrass Prince and to trump his rival on stage.
Is that what happened?
Oh, you know it. So Michael's, yes. So, well, check
Michael's
out
a
what
bad mother. Wow.
He worked at Westlake Audio, and John Sacchetti told me plenty of stories. And I worked with the Jacksons right after Prince, so I've heard things. I know that this is true. So Michael says to James Brown, very shrewdly, Prince is in the house, bring him up. So that's what you do when you see an opportunity to show your rival right there on stage that you're better than he is. So imagine your Prince, your idol, and your number one rival have just invited you on stage.
Oh, no.
And you are scared to death, and you better hope nobody in this house has a camera. Someone does, but you better hope they don't. So anyway, he gets on stage, and as you've seen, he made a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake. He's singing, but it's not going over well because there's Michael Jackson there, and Michael's a great singer. So he says, well, give me a guitar. But he's nervous, and all he's really doing, James Brown's band is a rhythm band.
He's doing some rhythm scratch.
So he's just doing some rhythm. How interesting is that? Not much to the audience. It's like, what's your deal, buddy? So he realizes this real quick. He takes the guitar off, and then it was the fatal mistake. It was bad. It was bad.
The jacket comes off,
Yes.
his chest, and he starts, in the mic.
Yeah, but that wasn't the worst of it. That wasn't the worst. He thought, okay, I'll go sexy. I'll do something Michael can't do. I'll do this sexy thing, because Michael's not going to take off his shirt and, be that sexy guy. So Prince is trying to be tactical back. I'll do something you can't do, my rival. I'll be sexy. But with James Brown's audience, it wasn't working. Because they came to see James Brown. James Brown is an older guy, kind of sexy, and this young guy with his shirt off, no, not too good. So then he made the fatal mistake. Bad. Prince decided, I know, I'll dance. Not with Michael Jackson on stage. You don't dance in front of Michael Jackson.
So you mean the thing with the microphone stand through the legs and trying to do the James thing and all that?
The guy, Michael Jackson could spin 5 times on one toe. You don't dance on stage with Michael Jackson. And he messed that up, and then as he realized, I better get out of here. So as he's going to get off the stage, he knocked over a light pole, Prince did.
It was like a lamppost, so as he's getting on Big Chick's back, he kind of brings the lamppost into the crowd with him.
Now here I want to tell you something, and this is This is sad, and it was Jesse Johnson who told me this story.
Yeah.
So they're all together afterwards, the members of the Time and Prince. And they're in, I think, the back of the limo. And Prince says to all of them, that was bad, wasn't it? That was terrible, wasn't it? And Jesse told me, and Jesse was the new guy, so he kept quiet, but Jesse said...
Jesse Johnson, guitarist
Jesse
of the
Johnson from
Time.
the Time, yeah. Not one person said to him, yeah, it was. They all said, Jesse told me, they all went, no, Prince, that was great. That was great. And Prince, Jesse said his face just went blank, and he just sat back in the car because he just realized at that moment, there's no one around me who will tell me the truth.
Wow.
How lonely is that? And this is before Purple Rain. My best friends just lied to me. And this is another thing that's not well known about Prince. He played that tape over and over again in the house.
Like the video, watching
Yep.
it?
I teach this to my students. What would compel you to relive one of the most embarrassing moments of your career? What would compel you? The only person who would do that is a person who learns from his mistakes and is determined to never do that again. This is why he always videotaped rehearsals. He wanted to know, what do I look like to you? And if I'm making a mistake, correct me. And I don't care how painful it is, correct me.